Hey everyone, my name is Mike Andes. I'm the founder of Copilot CRM, where we transact $1 million plus daily for our home service business owners. Today, we're going to be talking to 3 different business owners, and they're trying to take their business to the next level and grow. The first one's doing around $200,000 in annual revenue. The second is doing $800,000 in annual revenue. And the third is doing $1 million in annual revenue. Currently, they're using Jobber and Service Autopilot and a couple other pieces of software. And they're trying to make the decision as to whether or not joining Copilot and making the switch is really worth it. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of the switch from their current provider over to Copilot, because there are downsides and upsides of the decision. We're going to talk about more specifically in their business, how they can use features like the upsells, automations, deposit threshold, and the ability to do mass text inside of Copilot to be able to grow their business and take it to the next level. Let's go ahead and dive in. This one's really good. Take notes because it's not just about software, it's about business too. Let's go. We've been doing this thing recently where instead of doing one-on-one calls, Christian's doing groups of 3 people. Just because, as you guys know, this is the time to switch CRMs. There's a lot of people trying to join. So I wanted to hop on this one though and just kind of get to know you guys, make sure Copilot's a good fit. But if we could just kind of start off, I'll just kind of go around the room real quick. And if you could each just introduce yourself, tell us like a 2-second snapshot of the size of the business you're at right now, maybe what you're using right now in terms of software, and then we'll jump right into it. So I'll just start off with Avila. Is it Avila or Avila?
Avila.
Avila, got it. Maybe just give us your name, give us like a 2-second snapshot on what your business is currently at, and then we'll just go around.
Hi, so my name is Jose Avila. I own Avila Landscaping and Hardscaping. We do landscaping and hardscaping, as the name says. I've been in business since 2014, located in Jackson, New Jersey right now, and using Service Autopilot right now. Perfect. As a software. Yep.
Cool. Did I miss it? What was your current revenue? Like, what are you kind of shooting for this year?
Revenue for this year, we are on the 800.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Yep.
Perfect. Andrew, you want to go next? If you don't mind?
Yeah. I'm Andrew Adkins. I'm in Barrington, Illinois. Sorry, I'm driving right now, almost back to my place. We are landscape lawn care. We do some construction, and then we have a maid service too. So we have 3 different divisions. Really started going heavy on the business this year. We're right around the $1 million mark. Right now we're using Service Autopilot, but we've kind of starting to make the switch to Copilot.
Cool. Good stuff. And last but not least, go ahead.
Lugo, Carlos, business since 2021. Let's see. I still work full time and then run my business on my days off. Last year I did 112. So 112,000, still a little baby. And I've bounced around. I've used Jobber for about 1.5 years, and then went to Workies, and currently still with Workies, but have also LMN. Cool. What drew me to that was the budgeting side. And then business is rig hauling, dump services, and I do junk removal, dumpster rentals. And this year is our first year getting into snow. And we are, that kind of led me into the lawn care side to get some stability or consistency. Junk removal is pretty sporadic. And a little bit on the dumpster side as well. It's fairly sporadic. So that's what drove me to lawn care and snow removal. It was either that or, get into the weekly bins that Waste Management does, but that's fairly pricey to get into. So that's where I'm at currently and looking into going to be going with Copilot based on the information I've gotten from Christian so far. So
cool. If you look, I apologize. What was your first name? I missed it. Sorry, I missed it again. My apologies. Jose, got it. All right, we got you. Yeah. All right, let's rock and roll. Sweet. So maybe Jose, it's just kind of like outline maybe what you're currently. Obviously, you use Service Autopilot. We used Service Autopilot in the past. We used it for about 7-8 years. So what's the kind of the current thought of even switching? Is there a pain point? Is there something you're looking to change, or is it just a matter of when to switch softwares?
I've been trying softwares like for 3 years right now. I started with Joist, the only billing and estimating. And I still have those for clients like commercial properties that they want their invoice as a PDF. Um, I mean, Service Autopilot does it, but it's a little bit difficult for me, and because I know you're in the industry, and I follow you since like forever, and I just want to see what's your program can bring me. I like that the two-way text, um, advertisement, and I want to see I want to change into pay for performance.
Got it. And so in terms of pain points now in Service Autopilot, it's mostly just around the PDFs for the commercial side. Is that kind of the current pain point, or is it more a matter of you want the new aspects of like the marketing, the SMS stuff, and pay for performance?
Just said, just the payment method. I can deal with that. You can still keep doing the joist. I don't have a problem with that. It's only like for clients that require that you have to send the invoice as a PDF. So it's just 3 minutes of work that I have to do once a month.
Cool. Okay, so really it's like, can we use the texting, the two-way, the mass emailing, and P4P to actually see all the business? Cool. And in terms of the P4P side, Jose, is that something you're already using budget hours? I know Service Autopilot allows budget hours, so have you already started that process?
No, basically what I do is I paid my drivers for hourly rate, and my other workers I pay them daily.
Got it. Yeah, like have you so you probably haven't instituted pay for performance at all yet. Have you looked at the P4P University just to understand how that all works?
I just start to look into it, but I didn't went like far into it. I just want to see because I saw one of your interviews and it says that it's better and faster if we're running the company through your system. So that's why I'm like, if I'm running the program, then probably it would be easier for me just to do the switch.
Yeah. So basically Copilot and P4P software integrate. And what's nice is the guys will just go clock into Copilot. It'll automatically make their time card inside P4P. And then what's cool is they can go in the P4P app and see, based upon the jobs they complete in Copilot, exactly how much they're earning for the day. So they'll show up to the shop in the morning. It'll say, like, hey, you can earn $348 a day. And they'll see all their jobs stacked up on a thermometer. And then as they click complete in Copilot, it'll fill them up. And it gives them like a live speedometer of how much they're earning per hour. So it is pretty motivating.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm looking to, like, to just give them a push so they can be more effort into do the job right, do the job fast, and do it correctly. So that way I don't have to be behind them. Hey, you guys take too long. You guys miss this. You guys miss that. That's basically what I'm trying to do.
100%. Cool. I'll come back to that one, Jose. But Andrew, on your end too, like, obviously Service Autopilot, it's a great platform. We used it for a long time. What's sort of the reasons you're even thinking about maybe switching?
Automations, and then that was kind of like the main driver for the switch. I have friends that use Bonzo. I work with realtors and mortgage brokers a lot. That's how we kind of broke into the market. It's just saturated here. So that was kind of like the lead gen side of it. So when looking at Bonzo, a lot of those automations that they have in that software, I'm like, man, those are super useful, but like they don't have all the other stuff that like Service Autopilot has, but you guys are kind of like the merge between the two. So I was like, okay. And the credit card on file was a big one before an estimate's accepted. Like that was a huge selling point. Because trying to, after this stuff is sold and getting people to actually get on the stupid client portal and do it.
Well, the hard part is usually your first email to them is asking for credit card information. And so it gets caught in spam a lot. That's the reason we got frustrated, is because like then we're calling them trying to get a credit card or a deposit, but it's because our first email is asking for money. So it gets caught in everyone's spam folder.
Yep. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. And it's like, okay, man, like you said that you want to do this job and you want it done today, but like, I don't have a card on file and like, I don't want to just trust that. Yeah. So that was a huge selling point. The automations was a huge selling point of being able to set up all those templates, which is kind of what I'm working on right now with you guys. It's like setting up all those automations. We kind of have a version of P4P that we're doing like on our own end that I was doing personally for the guys. But like actually want to integrate P4P stuff next year. And the reason we went with Service Autopilot last year is just because it was one of the quickest ones we could get into. But then after they started piling on all the extra fees for everything else and the routing and all that, it just ended up being like $500 a month for everything that you guys are offering for $279. And I'm like, it's stupid to be spending that much. And it's cumbersome and all the processes are double the amount of time to get the estimate out. I've got to come in and go in and send it 5 times. Like it's a painful process when it doesn't need to be.
Have you used their two-way texting at all, Andrew, or like mass texting at all?
A little bit. It seems like the big thing was with the two-way texting that I was having issues with was it was getting sent different places on my phone and it wasn't like showing up where it needed to go. And I was like, man, like I'm checking 6 different incoming messaging spots. Like, okay, I got to text my regular phone number. I got to check my email. I got to check the Service Autopilot. Like I just wanted it all in one place. To kind of mitigate all that time that's wasted on that side of it. And right now time is money. Because we're getting to a point where I can't be sitting here doing all that crap.
Totally. How many people in your current database, Andrew, like inside of Service Autopilot, just like contacts?
Contacts? Not that many. We're probably at like 50. We've done a lot of stuff outside of it just because it's been so cumbersome. And I was kind of just testing the waters to see what they could offer. And it was just at a point where I was like, man, this isn't going to help me very much. And I tested it with a small client base.
In terms of the business as a whole, though, like all your contacts, then just even outside of Service Autopilot, how many do you think you have? Like 1,000?
We're probably at like 650. Cool. Because of the realtors and stuff, they give us clients, but they're usually one-off jobs. I mean, it's clean. We do the house cleaning, we do the lawn care, landscape, get it all up to date, and then we can hopefully sell it to the new homeowner. But a lot of the times when the people move out, it's sometimes a hard sell to get the new people to do it because a lot of them are trying to do it themselves and save the money, at least in right now's market. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's interesting, it sounds like you're already thinking about the enterprise. So like you have the ability to send the mass text out. And the reason I'm bringing it up for your size of business is like, once you have 500, 600, 700 contacts, like you have, like we've been sending out these mass texts and we're getting like, for example, yesterday we're doing Christmas lights. We sent out a mass text. We got 20 new jobs yesterday, but the text has so much better penetration than the email. Like the ability to be able to mass text is just, obviously it's like making sure it's conversational. It's not like click on this link. It's just like, hey, it's Andrew. We're looking to do this service. We got an extra spot this week. It's 20% off. Who wants it? Like it's really, really helpful. So that might be also a good spot because in the inbox inside Copilot, it just, all the text will come back to the same inbox and it literally acts like an email in that is like open, unread, completed. And you can just type in from there. And so I that's one of my favorite things in terms of the marketing side. It's even outperforming our one-click estimate emails, honestly. Like we've always sent out emails where hey, click here, get an estimate. But like right now, as you're seeing, like with the email side, like it's so hard to get through to people's inboxes if you have links, if you have pictures, if you're doing a mass message. And so text has really just been our go-to.
People feel like it's more personal too. Like that's the biggest thing is like the selling point of like it still feels personal even though it's at a larger scale. So yeah, that was a huge selling point versus a lot of other softwares that don't want to integrate the SMS. So, and I've been following you for the last, 18 months. So it's like, I've been watching your content and been like, okay, like if you're in here and actually the one behind it and like, okay, how are we going to improve this? I can't get that same improvement out of Service Autopilot because they don't want to improve their software any. Like it's just kind of stagnant at this point. And I've told them that multiple times. So
yeah, I feel your pain. That's why we had to do our own thing.
No,
It's just like, sorry
100%.
guys, I love you, but not that much. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh man. Okay, cool. Carlos, I know you're on the little bit of smaller size in terms of the business,
Yeah.
but like, Jobber has an excellent user interface and it's great on, especially on their mobile app.
Yeah.
What's kind of, are you thinking about switching over? Is it you're really
Yeah,
wanting to
so
scale?
what-
What's
Yeah, what led me to leave Jobber is essentially, so on the dumpster side is I started off with 3 cans, which was just fine. Inventory tracking is one thing that initially wasn't that big of a deal because I was small. I can remember where my 3 cans were at. Right now I'm up to 7 cans, and I can see it when they're all out that I have to really think a lot harder to find out where my cans are at, and who has it and when is it due to pick up, besides scheduling on my Google Calendar. That's what led me to leave Jobber, because besides that, it was kind of like an Apple phone. It's like super easy to use, user face type thing. The Workies offers inventory tracking. It's not fine tuned, dedicated specifically for it. It's a little bit of a workaround, and it's not as clean of a setup, so to speak. And that it's working for me right now. Workies is, but some of the things making me want to leave that, and why I'm kind of with Element right now, but getting ready to drop them as well. What led me to Element was budgeting, because I'm newer to the business, never had a business before, and budgeting and doing stuff like that. That's initially what drew me to that. And I think they hit the nail on the head with that, based on little information I know. And then also being that I was tapping into a new industry, I'm not that have that much experience with, which lawn care snowmobile. They had a feature where you can be able to industry standard rates, or typically what you should be producing, or what they typically production rates essentially, that I can, let's say if it's a lawn or snow that I've never done before, a certain size, I can click the measure it, add it in, and then it shoot me a approximate time it should take. So then at the very least, it gives me a marker where I should be at. So that's one thing I did like about that. But where they're dropping the ball on is, because I'm in the field, is the app. So if somebody calls me, I'm in the field, I need to be able to add a customer, create an estimate, or send those type of appointments. You have to basically get on a laptop or iPad and then like go into like a mobile site versus just on the app and do stuff like that. So that's and then their automations, or any type of mass texts, emails, calls. There's no calling or anything like that. There's messaging, but you only get 500 text messages essentially, which would, if you did any automation, that would go through like nothing. So that's the main thing. I'm still not satisfied with the Element side, besides the budgeting and initial startup with the new service. And that's kind of, yeah.
Do you think that new service will fit inside Copilot? Like in the inventory side, have you looked at the kind of like where to keep track of things? Will that work sufficiently?
Yeah, Christian ran through some stuff with me as far as being able to mark. And I'm probably not, this is like, I've been on Copilot maybe 3 times so far. And last night was like one of them. So I added some stuff on there last night, like some drunken mobile, how I price it out. And then he kind of showed me a map view where I can do color points for each type, like let's say dumpster rentals, and then it'll show me where those jobs are at. And if they get extended out, I could just go in and extend those days out. Kind of a little bit of a workaround on how that would work. And it made sense when he showed me. I probably just not explaining it as good as he did.
Yeah. One thing, Carlos, I think will be helpful. We are rolling out master routes early 2025. It'll be really beneficial on the bin side, because you want to keep the same route the exact same way every single time. We're similar with lawn care. It's like, hey, like usually we want to keep the same routes, but then we add in services like you would add in bins. And so we are adding in master routes so you can lock in a route in perpetuity, instead of right now, it's like each day you would need to optimize the route. But having that master routes will also be beneficial for you. So also, Carlos, I just want to say thank you for your service. I know I was talking with Christian, everything you've done, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. So I guess I want to spend this time really just to kind of, for each of you, just make sure it's like, I think that in terms of a fit with Copilot, it might be good, but like where your business is at currently, I think all of you are at kind of different stages. Like at that 800,000 to a million level, it's very much like, I've got to save admin time with software. That is the objective, because I cannot be clicking on a bunch of stuff. I can't be chasing emails or invoices or estimates. Like it needs to be in one spot. And even for yourself, Carlos, like having in 3 different spots, like I don't want that. Even if it's not switching to Copilot, you can't be going to 3 different softwares to get what you need in your day.
Yeah.
And so, like for you guys, for the business going forward, it's like, how can we actually save time here on admin side and then actually use it to actually get more customers? And this is why, like at Copilot, when we started, I said, look, there are so many other softwares out there. Each of you have mentioned softwares that I've used, and they're very good. And there's lots of highlights to them. It's a matter of like, if we cannot grow the businesses of the members that are joining Copilot, we don't even want their money. And so that's why, like, you might have seen it, might not. We have basically it's called the Founder's Guarantee, and it's over the next 365 days. If you don't grow your business or you don't grow your profits, like you literally just give me your tax return things and we'll give you the money back, because there are a bunch of softwares out there and they're going to promise a gazillion things. I do not want any of your money unless we're actually going to move the needle for your business. And so when we make features like the mass texting, like the deposit threshold requirement, like the credit card on file, I'm always asking myself, like, does this actually make more money for the owners? And so like behind me, this is Command Center. We have about 60 to 70 people here in the office serving Augusta Nation, which we have 150 locations. So like every single day when I make a tweak in Copilot, I can see live at a very large scale the impact it's having. And so if we're not making more money for you guys, like Copilot is not needed. It is not required. There's a lot of other softwares that will do features and buttons and clicks. And so, you've seen probably even now, like I'm not really even like showing the software, because the software, it's like, there's a lot of other softwares out there. They're going to have, you keep track of your clients, you collect money, you optimize your routes. It's pretty basic stuff. And so my main point though is like, how do I get you guys to the next level in your business? And so whether it be going from 800,000 to a million or doing 800,000, by the way, Jose, kind of not a bad spot to actually optimize in terms of profitability, right? Like instituting pay for performance, actually starting to make sure you track your efficiency scores. It's a great size of business, because once I found between 800,000 and 1.5 million, there's almost this wilderness of profitability. And the reason for that is because you have to add more overhead people. So I'm sure Andrew's feeling this now. It's like, you got to either add a full-time office person or an estimator. Well, as soon as I have 2 or 3 full-time admin people that are complete overhead, I have to grow the business an extra $500,000 or $600,000 just to warrant having them on payroll. And usually they're going to be salaried, and I'm going to have to pay them throughout the off season. And so if we can't get you to 1.5, then we've got to optimize the business at 800,000, optimize it at $1 million, make it very profitable. And so I just really am in here today. Like, I just want to like, hey, what is the next step in the business? Whether or not Copilot's a part of that, we can talk up. The Christian can help you through that. But like, I really just want to know what your goals are, how we can help. And like, when anyone signs up for Copilot, I do the onboarding now. And so I will see you guys at least twice more once you sign up. So even like, if you have signed up this morning, I know, or even if you sign up the next couple hours at 11 a.m. my time. So in 2 hours, I do the onboarding for everyone that signed up this week and show you the resources and how to contact support for Zoom calls and phone calls, et cetera. But then the part that I'm really interested in, especially for the 3 of you, is like, because I think you're all at 3 different crucial parts of the business, is the goal session. So we recently add this, and I will go through your next 3 years and we'll create projections. We'll create a budget. So it's not going to be a budget like you might have seen in LMN on that side, Carlos, in terms of like every single line item, but we're going to actually think, okay, like if I grow this, I am going to need X amount of trucks. I'm going to need to hire X amount of people. Do I have enough cash on hand to make it through the off season? And then we're going to break it down to quarterly goals. So actually creating a budget, creating projections for your marketing, for your hiring, et cetera. And so, that's what we care about at Copilot. Like, I genuinely believe that there's like the software, there's a bazillion of them. I really don't care. I want you to be able to grow your business, and I want to take the coaching that I believe in to get you to that next level and say, hey, by the way, there is a feature that will do this for you. Like, I know that text will get you a lot more leads. I know your response rate is like 98% in terms of open rate. Your response rate much higher than email. But like, I've got to actually create the thing inside Copilot like we have to be able to mass send it out to all their customers. The deposit threshold, massive pain for us as well, Andrew. Like every single day, we were spending over $3,000 in labor just to get and collect deposits, get credit cards on file. Like that's crazy. And
That's
so,
insane.
and so it's just a matter of like, we've got to create the feature. So the feature, the buttons, those are all like things that we'll figure out. But my focus is like, what is the bottleneck in your business? And so that's what we'll identify on that goal session call and really create a plan for the business going forward. So I know I've talked a lot, and I know you guys are thinking about joining Copilot. So like, is there any questions I can answer that you kind of like kind of top of mind? You're like, hey, is this in there? Will this serve me? Anything like that I can answer. Just fire away here. I know we're somewhat limited on time, but I'm happy to help it wherever I can.
I've got one for you.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Service Autopilot has the rate matrix for the snow depth per push. Do you guys have that in the software?
Yeah, so we have the rate matrices inside of there. It's also linked with the job costing. And so I would say if you're coming from Service Autopilot, it actually seemed pretty decent in terms of your learning curve. I would usually say to people that have never touched rate matrices, it's going to take a learning curve. But if you figured out in Service Autopilot, we built it basically to take what we were doing in there and make it simple. We have some plans for it to make it a little more simpler. But if you've used theirs and you're like, I got it, you'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. That was, I think that's the only thing that I was like, okay, I don't know if it's in here or not. Cause I was watching the old videos of when you guys are like, okay, well, we're going to release that in early 2024. And I'm like, I don't know where it is. I can't find it, but I'm still getting into the software, setting up templates and stuff like that. So I'm already in with you guys.
Yeah. Like what I would recommend maybe, Andrew, is book a Zoom call with one of the guys on the team. ATC is air traffic control, and they can actually walk you through it. Or even if you give it a shot, you're like, hey, a couple things aren't making sense. I just need someone to show me this. Book a Zoom call. They'll hop in there. They can see your account as well. Anytime.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Carlos, you had your hand up. Go for it.
Yeah. Mine's reference to probably should have been done before this, but learning as I grow, right? Budgeting or like creating writing down your stuff. I do a personal budget. It's a little different than for business, I think. And learning what to charge for different types of services that involve different equipment, or how to, like, let's say I have 2 dumpsters, they get rented out so many times a year. How do I break down that, how many hours or what I should be charging for that for the daily side, and same thing for lawn care and anything else that I do. So each service requires different type of equipment. So I guess creating a budget business wise, and then also breaking down what I should be charging versus questioning myself. I made decent money, or I barely made it by, or
totally. Yeah. Like the challenging part with something like this is software actually will not fix this problem, because budgets in general are like you can throw a number in a spreadsheet and it'll pump out whatever you want. So like the only 2 things that will really fix this is coaching, i.e. go have someone tell you because they've done it before. And secondly, looking at your numbers and determining, what do I need to raise this number to in order to make X amount of profit? And so there's 2 things I'll point you in the direction of on this one, Carlos. One, from a networking perspective, I'd really recommend reach out to Copper Creek Cuts. Brad Bear, highly recommend, good friend of mine. He's starting his whole bin business now. He has 150, 200 customers. We've been helping him a little on the marketing side. Reach out to him. Secondly, I would say the Mike Minutes, the masterminds that I do on the weekend. So every single member inside Copilot, we do a mastermind every single Saturday. And sometimes they go an hour plus long, and I'll answer all these sort of questions. So what I would recommend is, once you get into the Facebook group, go to the very top, there's a pinned post, and you can just there's a form there, and you just put a question. What I would do in this case is I would put like your cost per bin, what your numbers are. Like you can even attach a spreadsheet to it. And then I will go over it in detail and break it down. And I can do that as much as you need as you scale the business. So there's usually 20, 30 questions in there. I do it every weekend with all the members. Again, the reason I do this is because I've seen time and time again where there's one button that someone's been spending 2 hours a day doing a workaround, and it's like one button would have fixed it. And I've also seen where they have all the great features and the buttons and the features and everything's locked and loaded, and it has nothing to do with software. It is a business principle. It's a pricing issue. And so like when it comes to Copilot, I like software. I love software. I believe in this stuff, but it's also a matter of like, we need to give you the coaching to use the tools. Like, it's like, if I give you an excavator, cool. But if you don't know how to use the thing, it's not going to serve you well. And if you don't know when to use the thing, it's not going to serve you well. And so the masterminds would be a great place to put some of your actual numbers. And then I'll just give you like, hey, I think your prices should be this based upon your growth rate. Cause I'll ask you things like, hey, what's your close ratio? Like, okay, based upon that, we need to adjust the pricing. Cause if you're closing 80% of these jobs, we have lots of price to be able to move up. And so definitely the masterminds would be a great point there.
Okay. Thanks.
Jose,
anything jumping out at you? Kind of questions about from just the software side for now?
No, just listen to you guys, and I think whatever you answer, there were also my questions, so I think you answered most of the questions that I had.
Cool. Well, if any of you do join, or if you haven't got the email yet, like today, literally in 2 hours, I can do the orientation call. So feel free to hop on that, and then from there we schedule your goal session. And that's when we'll go for about an hour and a half about like more in-depth stuff. But I wanted to spend the rest of the time just really answering any questions I can about your business. So anything I can help with, like I know Andrew, you followed the content for a little bit. Is there anything I can help with now? Like I don't usually hop on these sales calls, but is there anything I can help with, whether it be sales, hiring, marketing, anything like that whatsoever? I'm happy to help.
Probably marketing. Honestly, we do door hangers. We haven't done it with every door direct mail. The average home cost in this area is well over the $500,000 mark. It's bougie. It's I don't know. It's a little uppity for like my taste. I live in it, but like I'm not that way. But yeah, it's the marketing side of it, and kind of I did door sales from like 12 years old. Like that's how I sold picnic tables when I first started out selling stuff. I went and knocked on doors. So like I'm comfortable with that. And maybe it's just I need to do more numbers of it. I know how many I'm getting every 100 and how many hours I got to put in to get a client, right? Like I know what my customer acquisition cost is, and maybe it's just I need to go more ham on that, or maybe I'm missing something else. We're doing a lot with the realtors, right? Like we go in, we're sponsoring events for continued education for realtors. We're going to grand opening events for mortgage brokers. So like we're getting in front of all those clients, and they give us a lot of other clients. But like, if I get the leads in, like, again, like I love the equipment and all that kind of stuff, but like the shiny new toy syndrome, it's not going to get me more money in my pocket, right? And it's not going to help me grow. It's the sales, and I just got to keep going at that. But I'm wondering if there's anything else that I could be doing maybe on the sales side to help grow it bigger or faster.
Totally. Quick question for you, Andrew. Of the, like, let's call it 900,000 million in revenue you're doing this year, what percentage of that is coming from the realtors?
Oh man, probably 35 to 40%. Right around that point.
I think what you're into your size of business, what I see a lot of people do is, because you want to get to the next stage, your churn of just natural attrition, people moving, people unhappy with service, whatever, is so high. There's the immediate thought is we need more leads to fill the churn. And I agree. Like in order to grow, you'd have to get more leads than what are currently walking out the door every day because of churn. I would really encourage one aspect, and that is increase the annual customer value. And so I would track this religiously at your size of business. Yep. And that is how much revenue I produce per customer. And you can do it based upon, realtor, homeowner, however you want to track that. And then I would be asking myself, when can I upsell and cross-sell this person at every single interaction? So for example,
one of the big selling points on here was the upsell stuff. And like, my guys are like, well, how can we do this? I'm like, well, now this software will actually, you can go in and you can do it right there. You see that they need weed service, send them a text.
Yeah. So like I would probably make a text and email template for your top 4 or 5 upsells. I would then create a program around it for your crew. Say, hey guys, I'll give you $50 if you literally just click on this button, and then I approve it and it goes to the customer. Yep. And so you can have it where it goes right through. I would probably only do that for your crew leads, or maybe your higher level technicians. But then the other setting is where you have to approve the email or text.
I saw that in here on the automation side of it. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, people talk about automations. One of the things I think is super underutilized when it comes to upsells and cross-sells is before the job is even done. And so at every single stage of the life cycle customer, I can upsell them and I can cross-sell them. Upsell, think of it as like if I am selling someone a Ford XL version of the truck versus the King Lariat.
Like, I can move our King Ranch versus in the area. Like, I am trying to sell more of the same thing, upsell. Cross sell, I'm trying to sell them different services that I offer. And so,
and that's what we're mostly doing, is that cross sell, because we offer so many other things. Like, we do decks and barns and all that kind of stuff. And I'm having to do a lot of that, but I think we're slowly moving out of that. So it's like, okay, we're not going to be able to cross sell if we focus heavy on the maid service and the lawn care. Like, we're not going to be able to cross sell. Oh, well, we can do your $20,000 deck. Like, we're not going to be doing those left and right. Like, so we want to go heavy on the recurring stuff. But I haven't played that game before, right? I've always done the cross sell because I have 100%. Background in construction.
Yeah, and you can just, like, if you look at, say, for example, when you send an estimate, that is a point when the customer's going to look at the estimate. I can put other services on there as optional services. Another thing is, like, when you do a walkthrough of a big project, I would have 3 upsells in your back pocket. I'd have 3 cross sells in my back pocket, because when you solve the pain of a customer, is their highest point of activation to buy again. Because in 3 weeks, as you know, they're like, well, the deck is a little wobbly in this one spot. I didn't like this. Like, right after the walkthrough, that's the highest point of activation. And so what I would personally do, especially on the big project stuff, Andrew, is I would set up a job as the walkthrough. And then on that job, allow the person that's doing the walkthrough, the crew lead, or if you go back, or if an estimator goes back, from there, that's when you're determining what other upsells I'm selling this person. Now, the challenging part with one-time job is someone really going to do another $20,000 job if I just did another $20,000? Potentially not. Then what you're actually thinking is, how can I convert this from a one-time revenue into recurring revenue?
Yep, absolutely.
And so when I do the deck, can I also sell a annual package where I come back and I stain it? I beat any nails that have come out, I fix those up. That might be $150, $200. And then I get them when I come back on that annual service, I'm selling them 4 other things. Yeah. And so I think one of the biggest benefits of one-time jobs or big projects is the ability to sell inspections as a value add, but then also as a way for you to come back and sell them more stuff. So later today, actually, 100%. Later today, there's a handyman service that's going up on the YouTube channel. They have like 2.4 million in revenue. And the number one thing that they're going to do is literally just do annual inspections for all your customers. And you're going to go back. It's going to be a free service, and they're going to pick up 5 things. Oh, that leak. Oh, the gutter's here. We got to change this out. Oh, you want to move the wall. Like, there's so many opportunities. It's just a matter of, can you actually make sure that upsell drop down is meaningful? Because I've seen some people use the drop down upsell. It's like very lame. Like the emails aren't written correctly, the text messages. So like, even if you make those, Andrew, feel free to throw them up on the mastermind. I can look over them, because I really do believe it's like, every time I sell a one-time job, I'm trying to cross-sell them into recurring. Every time I sell them a lawn care or cleaning, a maid service, I'm constantly looking to ways to upsell them into a one-time big project. Yep.
And that's what we're trying. We're trying to move more towards the recurring stuff, and just kind of focus on that and try to get out of the project-based stuff. Because, man, it's difficult. Like, it's slow season, you're not getting those extra things. Like, all my other customers, we're still doing leaf cleanups and all that kind of stuff on the lawn side. But like with decks and stuff, it stops because we get snow. Yeah. So,
so what one of the guys I was talking to, like the handyman, I said, hey, look, all your inspections are going to be during your off season. And now, instead of you going and spending way more on customer acquisition cost, you're going to go visit all your customers and find all the problems that they have with their property. You're going to go back and say,
oh, doing nothing anyways.
100%. Right. And so it's basically like, property inspection, free to them. They're happy. You can look at it as a warranty visit, right? You can actually sell this with the project. Like, hey, this includes an annual inspection for warranty.
That's awesome.
So just a thought. Cause like I've seen time and time again, people are like, I need more leads, and they have like a $1,500 or $2,000 annual customer value. I'm like, look, if you just get that 3,000, we'll double the business without getting any more customers.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll look into that stuff and we'll start moving on forward on that.
You got it, man. Anything else, Jose? Anything I can help with, or thoughts you've been thinking? Business, anything, just really anything.
Just same thing, advertisement. I do a lot of handlers, flyers. Like I have right now, I got two guys putting. I print like 20,000 flyers just for cleanups, and like snow removal. I do for commercials only in township. So we don't serve that for residentials, but we do like pavers, concrete. We also do asphalt, but we don't do it on winter. So uh, just advertisement. Like I want to know more about the two-way text, how that works on advertisement. Because I do emailing, but I get result, but I have probably like on my platform that I use, I can send 500 emails at once, or and then I do emails back. So I get some results from emails, but I'm not getting as much as I can, you know.
Totally. How many people are in your database, Carlos, in terms of like all in service autopilot?
So
Or sorry,
all
not
my
Carlos,
cus-
Jose. I apologize. Jose.
Probably like 1,500.
Yeah. So like you're getting that size where like I just genuinely believe getting new customers is like selling to a cold audience that never knows who you are. Like it's so expensive. There are people, 1,500 people that have done business with you, have at least asked for service. You gave them a quote and they said no, but they demonstrated the need to buy.
Yeah.
Like that is a warm audience. That is you have their contact information. I would rather go knock on someone's door that has in the past asked for my services than go knock on the door of a stranger that I don't even know if they need my services. And so like the email, the texting side of things, like we talked about in the mastermind recently, and that was like the emails when you do mass, strip out images, take out links, make it very conversational. Like, hey, it's Jose. Was thinking about you. I know it's leaf season. We had a big windstorm last week. Do you need a property cleanup this week? Question mark. Sincerely, Jose. Boom. No signature, no logo, no pictures. Make it very, very personal. That will convert way more than a bunch of pictures and a video and a link to your site and fill out this form. Same thing with text, right? Like text will 100% at 1,500 customers, you send a property cleanup text at the right time, you'll get between 15 and 25 leads immediately. And these are people you already have their contact information. You've probably already done a job for them in the past. You probably have their card information. It like boggles my mind. Like I get pretty worked up about this stuff because like I see people spend all this money on Facebook and Google and door hangers and all these third parties when it's like inside of your system is warm leads. And we will go spend money on a billboard or wrapping our truck, and we're trying to get new customers when there's customers in our database that have plenty of likelihood to buy. They have a credit card on file for us to charge, and we're not going after them. And so like I genuinely believe that the money saved in marketing goes in your pocket, and then we simply get more strategic about how often and when do I give offers to my customers, an email and text message, or knocking on their door. Like if it's slow during the season, I will go knock on customers' door and just be like, hey, it was great installing your deck. It was great installing that paver patio last year. I wanted to drop by, just making sure you're good, making sure you're happy. There's a high likelihood they have 4 other projects you can get done. And same thing when you text them, right? So I would really look at, okay, I have 12 months of the year. What is my email and my text message going to be for every single month? Because my whole goal is how do I create season-specific offers for season-specific services? So when I look at 12 months, I do not send the same email out. I don't have like some people have, I've seen their automations in Copilot, they'll build like onboarding sequences for new customers. And in my mind, I'm like, that's great in theory, but no one needs a fall cleanup in the middle of spring rush. I want to be able to pitch them the service when they need it. Sorry, Go ahead, Jose.
So that's the idea that I tried a couple of times to do it, but like I think I always when I do it, I feel like I'm a little bit late, and when I'm ready to like send, like let's say for right now for 4 cleanups, I was trying to do it like 4 weeks ago, but I didn't do it because I thought it was too soon to send it. But now that I'm doing it right now, I think it's too late because most of the houses are clean. So
yeah, here's how you get around that though, Jose. You just tell the customer that, like, hey, we have leaf season. We're going to book out 5-6 weeks. The leads are going to be crazy. I'm letting you know now because you're an existing customer to get you on the schedule and give you priority. If you want to get on the schedule so you don't get locked out of the schedule, hit me up. That will get a huge amount of response. And now the customer feels good about getting your message. So I saw this yesterday on one of our franchisees that were sending out a text for Christmas lights. They said, hey, we're giving 20% off for anyone that responds to this because you're an existing customer, and we want to make sure we fill our 50 available spots with our existing customers first and give you priority. Nobody opted out. I was able to go on the back and see not a single person opted out of that text, and they sent it to over 3,000 people. And the reason is because that message showed personable and priority for being an existing customer. The reason people hate mass messages is because you constantly are talking to cold traffic. Fill out this form if you want to be a new customer. Stop. Like, just message the people in your database as if they're existing customers.
Yeah.
Start to do is sell the whole season package from spring up to fall, because we don't do winter for residentials. And for commercials, we do the whole year round. So basically, we start charging a monthly fee, but we take care of the whole thing. Just on the snow, we put a limit of snow. So we have a minimum and we have a maximum of snow and salt.
Got it. And so is all of your customers on 12-month contracts?
No, no.
Just some of them. But your goal, you're trying to get them to that, right?
That will be my goal, but not everybody wants to do it. So I have customers that they only want to do one-time cleanup. I have customers that they want to do 4 times cleanup. So that's where my issue probably is sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is kind of weird. Let me show you this real quick. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is one thing I've been thinking a lot about recently when it comes to this. I'm gonna make this a little bit better for you guys. Very cool. Is like, you got customers coming in the top, right? This is the traditional funnel. I like to think of it as the other way around and flip the funnel. So I like to think of it as like, okay, I got customers coming in the top. Up here is going to be my gateway service. It's my lowest customer acquisition cost. It's how much do I have to spend to get them in the door? For example, for you on this one is probably like mowing, probably a single service or a weekly or biweekly schedule. Like, everyone needs their grass cut. I got you. Then it's like, well, how do I increase the value of this customer? Well, if I could get them on a property cleanup or take care of their beds plus their mowing, that'd be cool. Because now I can take what otherwise would have been an annual customer value of, let's just call it $1,200. And now all of a sudden I can turn that into, let's just call it, if I do 1 or 2 property cleanups, some bed maintenance throughout, let's just call it $2,500. Cool. And then what I would say, if you actually build this out, I would imagine for you on this one, down here is your full service maintenance program. And so then what I would do is I'd be constantly thinking about, how do I just grease the wheels to get people further down through this funnel? And so every single mowing customer, I would be having them on automation. How do I get them into bed maintenance? How do I get them into another service? How do I get them into snow? You can put snow here, for example. Like, the higher the value. And then the goal is always to get them to here. And if you market to them in that way, now when you present these offers via text or via email, we have a real reason and a goal. Like, our goal is to get the mowing customer to get bed maintenance, right? And so I would really be thinking about from that perspective, especially because you very clearly have, like, my highest value customer, the one I really want is a full service maintenance contract. And then I'd be, okay, what percentage of my current mowing customers are that? Okay, 15%, 20%, whatever it might be. How do I increase that number? I'm going to be trying to get them into one service. Well, once I get them into one service, like bed maintenance, now it makes a lot of sense for them to get a third service. And then I'll make this discount so good for full service maintenance, and then I'll pitch it. So for example, we do the same thing at Augusta. Like, we pitch people into winter services and we show them the price comparison. Like, hey, look, if we come to your property twice to do a property cleanup, it's going to cost like $1,500. Just let us come every 2 weeks, and we're going to do this whole list of things, make your property look good all year round. And it's only going to cost you $750 for the whole year. Like, but I know I can sell it to 90% of my mowing customers and increase their value from $1,200 to over $2,000. And so I would really make the funnel. And then your goal is to be able to use value, i.e. price, as a way to convince people to get further down. Because if you get them into 1 or 2 services, it's like, hey, this is an obvious choice. It's full service. You're saving this amount. You get this priority. And there's a lot of things that we don't assume as value that is really important to the customer. Like if there's a storm, you get 24-hour service. Like you can sell these as intangibles, i.e. insurance. Like we all pay home insurance, and unless our home literally gets burnt down or there's a flood, we never see any of that money. And so when it comes to a project install, especially larger jobs, it's how can I sell thin air, which in this case is an insurance, peace of mind. Like that's the type of thing you can tap into and get them further down that funnel. So just something to think about.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Well, I know we're coming up on our time, but I just want to say thanks, guys, for hopping on. I look forward to seeing you guys on the Facebook group, on the mastermind. If anyone did join today, I guess I'd probably see your onboarding call here in about an hour and a half. But we'll schedule your goal session inside there and really start figuring out what is the budget, what are the projections for hiring, marketing. And I genuinely believe most people spend too much on marketing because they're not using the text, the email, the automations correctly. They're not upselling. And so that's something that we'll dig into pretty heavily in those calls. But I appreciate you all. So,
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, man.
I'll see you guys. Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you in the community. And I really appreciate you guys joining Copilot. It'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you in the mastermind. And I know Christian will stay in touch with you guys and follow up with you as well.
Sweet.
So take care,
Thanks,
guys.
man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You got it. Bye. Bye.
Bye.